Hey man, this video is not going to be too long. Um, we're just going to be looking at a couple things together. Most of this is live. These are all new platforms. It kind of seems like we're going through a major digital transition because it's kind of like, okay, so Google has a portfolio of apps. They've got Gmail, they've got, Drive, they've got AdWords and analytics, and they've made changes to each one. So then what happens is that started a wave. So Facebook made a major change. They've made major change to their mobile. And then Google made some changes to mobile search. And then it's like I keep running into different platforms that keep doing overhauls just because like these major changes are being made. So we're getting access to a lot more tools. Like for instance, setting up campaigns in AdWords has a lot more tools than it used to. A lot more angles to come from and different ways to make bids and do the different plug in different money and do the math in different ways. And analytics is gaining new sections and like they're gaining um, like new ways to target things and track things. And like another major I mean, I'm serious, we're going through a major transition. When I've told you in the past that it's always keeping up to date with these different things, um, when it's keeping up to date with these different things, that's very much so the truth. But right now we're going through a transition like I've never seen before. For instance, Google's obviously made all these changes, which impacted us. Plus, they sent out, the Google the device to that affects Google Maps, and then now WordPress has updated to version 5, which is an entirely different. It used to be WordPress was just WordPress, and what I used to use was called a page builder. A lot of people use Page Builder, Visual Composer, Elementor. This was basically just a plug-in that you plugged into WordPress, and then you could basically do like drag and drop stuff or like block type website designs. Well, now they've integrated something called Gutenberg, and it's changed WordPress entirely. So like we're going through this major digital transition. One second, let me get the light here. The sun just went behind a cloud. So we're going to be taking a look at some stuff and kind of navigating things as we go. So where we're at right now is our campaigns. So we've got one campaign running, right? We created 3 new campaigns. One of them was the dynamic campaign. We knew we were going to have great success with that. And so we've run it, and it's been running for about 6 months now. I think, running 6 months at like full capacity. I wouldn't say full capacity. We're getting ready to make a couple more changes, and then we're going to move on to turning on those other campaigns and kind of playing with those. Understand that when it comes to AdWords, and we're using Google Analytics and AdWords, and you have to think about the website comes into play as well, because once we have a better website, we're going to convert more people. We'll have less people coming and saying, you know what, I don't like your website, so I'm not going to do business with you. We'll have less people saying that. So those are 3 major components. Basically, what this is like is just like the movie Perfect Storm. You are out in the middle of the ocean on a boat, and you're just trying to get a read on the waves and make movements. Well, we've made some major movements. We've cut off a lot of bleeding. We've cut off a lot of extra spending, a lot of unnecessary spending. And we started with one campaign, and we are doing the same numbers, just slightly more. It's hard to tell with our business because our business in and of itself is very up and down itself. So, but we're doing like the same numbers as we've always done, and we got down. We were running about $3,000 a month to get the results that we're now getting. we started getting for, once I made a bunch of changes and kind of optimized things, we got down to about $350 is what we were spending, and we were getting the same amount of results. So we went from 3,000 down to about 300. Well, now went from about 300 down to about one. We're getting about 150. So it's not like opening up per se, because remember, we're a local business. This isn't a global website. We're not selling e-commerce doggy toys to the whole planet, right? So we don't have an unlimited number of, if we had an unlimited number of prospects, on like a global company where we were selling products globally and we were selling it through the website, yeah, we might be able to take one campaign and pour the gas on it, so to speak, and open it up. But that doesn't necessarily work for us. Our situation's a little more complex, but at the same time, when we get into SEO, it really benefits us. It's really hard to rank globally, but if you're ranking a local business, that's a lot easier to do. So we don't have an unlimited number of prospects to market to. It's not as simple as just, and I've explained this before, but so take a look here at January. This is pretty much all of January. Our cost per click is coming down to $1.07. Cost has only been $153. This is a totally normal number. We're not lacking in any way, shape, or form. And it's come down from about $300 down to $150. So this one singular campaign is even still optimizing. I've got 2 more changes that I'd like to make. I want to instruct it to open up one more time and really kind of push the gas on it to see, and you never know if you're actually hitting the gas. It's almost like you're driving with a blindfold on, reaching around with your foot. But I'm going to try and open it up again, see if we can get some movement, not necessarily in the optimization way, which is still really great, but to see if maybe we can push it, right? So I'm going to do that, make one more change, and basically I'm going to be changing a couple things. It's going to get really, really complex as we move forward. It's going to get really, really complex, especially with all the new tools and all the new tools in analytics, all the new tools in AdWords, and all the new tools in WordPress. There's three components here, so it's going to get really complex. We're going to be changing the website out from underneath it, and that in and of itself is going to push numbers. And then I will be switching this back over to a target CPA, and that I feel we'll be able to make some good changes with just this campaign, though. That's the thing that I want to explain. So let's take a look at, before I explain more about campaigns in general, let's take a look at this, and I'm not going to be much longer. So we got the one campaign, and let's open up AdWords, and we get into auction insights. Take a look at, so it's a dynamic campaign, so I got to look in there and, this is a whole new thing. Like, it used to be all about keywords. Now dynamic campaigns are really pushing it. But we're still going to be opening up new campaigns with keywords so that we can broaden our horizons and target more people and get more potential customers. And then we'll be changing the website, which is going to change the dynamic campaign, because the dynamic campaign pulls information from the website and develops campaigns from there. And opening it up is just a very, very complex process. We're going to be adding new campaigns to hit new sweet spots. I've got to look and see, since dynamic's a whole new world, and we've got new sections like auction insights and just a ton of new sections in analytics. See if I can figure out what keywords the dynamic one is targeting specifically, and then we will go and target more keywords. I believe I've seen that window somewhere. I just can't remember where it was. But if you take a look here, this is our one campaign that we're running, the master campaign, the dynamic uh, ad group. And what we've got here is almost 63% of the impression share. So for those keywords, you imagine you Google such and such, and our name comes up, right? Um, we for so these are done by auctions and bids. So right here you can see our average position is 1.9. So for the most part, we're about position 2, a lot of times position 1, but we're getting the majority of impression share, meaning that our campaign is gobbling up a lot of the attention. As many times as it's putting itself out there, it's getting most of the attention, which is great. Top of the page rate, 79.34%. So we're in front of our customers. And we're going to be making a couple of changes, and we're going to be changing the website out from underneath this stuff. So we've got a lot of rocky road ahead of us, but that just is the nature of not even this type of transition in general. This is the nature of our specific transition. So opening things up is more about optimizing this campaign, changing the website, and adding new campaigns to hit keywords and appear in search results that we're not currently appearing in. Okay, so it's a very complex thing. Let me see if like I said, I'm doing this one on the fly. So what I want to do is I want to make a couple more changes with this one campaign. And those involve changing the bid, maybe changing the budget. I don't think I'm going to be changing the budget at all. You never know what's going to that's the problem with this type of stuff. You never know what tiny little minuscule infinitesimal thing is going to make a huge wave of change. And of course, that's what I've expressed to you in past videos. We're looking for tiny little tweaks that, oh, there it was, and bang. But at the same time, we're making massive bird eye level changes at the same time. So it's like we're trying to make these tiny little tweaks and find big results that come out of it at the same time that we're changing the entire website. We're about to add new campaigns. We're changing entire bid strategies. So might change the strategy a little bit here, but not yet to the target CPA. So I'm going to be changing just a couple things, just see what really makes sense, really get in there and like look at the numbers and see, okay, like this is most likely to make a change from a manual perspective this last shot. You know what I mean? I want to see if there's anything that, oh, whoa, there goes an explosion. That would be nice, But of course, we'll take the efficiency that we've gotten any day, to go from 3,000 to 300 down to 150. I mean, that's phenomenal just on one campaign. Imagine when we open new campaigns and just pour more budget into it, we're banking hard. So then we'll go back to target CPA, and at that same I'll still be playing with this campaign. I will be on that target CPA and making changes, but at the same time I'm going to be opening up 2 more campaigns. Okay, and so this is basically from just an AdWords perspective. These are the changes that we're going to be making. And obviously, how much work has went into just this one campaign. We're now going to be adding 2 more campaigns. And they're going to get budget themselves, and they're going to need optimized, and they're going to have to go through the same stuff, right? And it's all, there's no other way to play it other than by ear. And then, try not to forget my train of thought here. The website is going to change, which the website in and of itself is going to change conversion rates. So right now, I think it was we have a we're starting to move up between a 5 to 6% conversion rate, which is great because we started at like 1.7. I've showed you these numbers before, and we've gotten up to like 3, which 3 is like the universal average across all businesses. E-commerce websites even, have a 3% conversion rate. 3 out of 100 people purchase. We're moving up to 5, between 5 and 6. These are all really, really great numbers. Just because there's a lack of certainty doesn't mean that we're obviously getting back great results. It's just the name of the game, playing it by ear. We're a small, local brick and mortar business that, in and of ourselves, we have ups and downs. We roll with the seasons, and we just have a lot of up and down. So we're making great strides. We've got a strategy to open up AdWords. We've got a strategy where we're going to change the website. That's going to, affect conversion rates. That's really going to affect so many things. That's why it's hard to narrow down and you know what I mean? It's just, I'm sure you can tell. So conversion rates, that's also going to affect the dynamic campaign, because the dynamic campaign pulls information from our website and develops campaigns and selects the keywords all on autopilot from there. And basically what is going to work in our favor for our dynamic campaign is we're going to have better content. So we're going to have better written content, and we're going to have better metadata, which is, that's basically written content that's embedded in the website, essentially. So we're going to have better content, like the homepage is going to explain more about our business and more of what we do, and it's going to have more of our target keywords. There's going to be a lot of what's called on-page SEO. And remember, I'm the web consultant, so I do the bird's eye view of, sort of jack of all trades type of deal. It's kind of a better way to explain it is a full stack developer. So a full stack developer, they have a stack of programs that they're basically like the jack of all trades of programmers. So if you need one programmer to be able to do like 4 or 5 different major things, like an end-to-end guy, that's sort of what I am. And when you subject that guy to new projects and new things, especially in the web consulting department, because software languages, programming languages, they stay the same. The context, well, for the most part. But being a web consultant is sort of like being a full stack developer, in that I have to dive into HubSpot CRM, and I have to be able to learn it on the fly. I have to dive into brand new AdWords. AdWords is still sending out tooltips, which just shows how new it is. Obviously we were there for the change. We were on it. We were focused on it when it went through the change. Analytics, WordPress, all these making changes, got to get into them. So when we get into writing the content and doing the on-page SEO, focusing on the keywords, getting into the metadata, we're going to be changing the rug out from underneath the dynamic campaign, and we're going to be changing it for the better. So that dynamic campaign will open up, and we will have 2 more campaigns running alongside of it that don't even operate off of they're not crawling, what's called crawling the page, as uh, as the dynamic campaign does. So I know that there was one more thing, but this is the major stuff that's going to be making changes. So we're going to be changing the bid, budget, maybe strategy, the bid strategy. Might make a change to the bid strategy. Just changing a couple things about the campaign and see if maybe in the next week we can get a little bit more movement, um, and see what we can do. Maybe it'll just continue optimizing, which is great as well. If it ends up only costing us $50 where it used to cost us 2,700, good deal. Um, but ultimately, we're gonna change. For just the number one campaign, we're gonna be changing back to target CPA with a more accurate view on what we should expect to pay. It's probably going to be less than $25 a pop. So, really good stuff there. Essentially, to answer your question, um, this is optimization. This is opening up. Okay? And it's a very, very, very complex process. Very, very rocky road to navigate. So, I think that hits the nail on the head as far as explaining. You open up one campaign and then you optimize, 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 and we only have so many. That one campaign is only gonna offer our website to so many prospective clientele. So we add new campaigns that hit different angles, right? And then now you've gone from one super, optimized campaign, and now you're opening up to three, and eventually they'll become super optimized campaigns, right? And we're basically going to take this as far as we can take it. That's the objective. We want to have it go as far. It's not infinite, it's not unlimited. We're going to take it as far as we can. And in the midst of those changes, we'll be changing the website. So that's going to be like a 9 on the Richter scale change. So it's going to be exciting. So we'll change the website, and then that might give us a whole new world, a whole new realm of areas to push all three campaigns. With the better content, the dynamic campaign might say, hey, now I've got a whole laundry list of auctions, extra auctions. Let's say we're only getting 100 auctions now because of the crawling of our website, and say we change the the content on the site, and now the dynamic campaign saying, well, okay, we're going from 100 to 300 opportunities, right? And all three campaigns, because we're gonna be it's gonna be a lot cleaner, and or the hand holding process is gonna be cleaner, and the booking portion is going to be cleaner, and there are going to be less errors. We don't even know how many errors we're having, because think about it. If someone wants to try and book our services, out of 100 people, and we know people have errors, we get calls and messages about them all the time, right? Every week almost. Well, I don't know about that. But think about it. We have them a lot, in my opinion. And let's say we have 100 errors. Out of 100 people, how many do you think took the time to notify us and continue to try and become a customer? Maybe 3. You know what I mean? So when that process, think how, do you see what I'm talking about opening up now? And how complex it is? That's just the simplest thing. That's one way of opening up, is when we have a booking widget that is more consistent, then we're going to convert more customers. And when we have a website that does a better job at hand holding, we're going to have more customers. And when we make it, when we're able to track calls better, and then we can predict those customers. And if you can predict it, you can control it, we can start to make moves on the calling side of things. Because, maybe 30% of customers of our demographic, since our demographic is older, maybe a higher percentage, maybe 30% of them would prefer to call. I'm that way. I prefer to call. So these are very, very complex, very deep-seated factors that we're talking about here. But hopefully that explains one. When just take that for instance. So remember, more consistent booking widget. Let's say we have 100 people in a month who have problems with the booking widget, and we hear from 3 of them. You know that the majority of people are having. So if we have 3 people in a month who have problems with the booking widget, how many customers do you think we lost? I think it's fair to say 10, 15. That we could probably, just by having a more consistent booking widget, we could probably double customers that we're seeing. We could probably almost double this number, because that's just what happens. I think it's safe, very safe to say, if we have 3 booking errors in a month where they contact us and they say, hey, I tried to book online, but I couldn't get through. Could you help me out? Yeah, of course, we'll book you out. Let's say we have 3 in a month. It's very fair to say that probably 3 to 6 customers had that same exact problem, or prospects had that same exact problem, but they didn't contact us. Because that's what people do. They just moved on and they went over to Country Kennel. So we could increase this number month to month by probably 5 at least, I would think, just by having a more consistent booking widget. I'm not even talking about the across the board conversion rate, because the website altogether is better and explains our message better and is easier to navigate. So we might be talking about an additional 10. So and that doesn't place priority on the website change. We can't. I think by now we've learned that we can't just say okay, because we have an opportunity over here. Let's say SEO. We can't just run and gun and try and get that done. It doesn't work that way. But this is basically a good explanation of kind of trying to show you the difference between optimization and what you and I are calling opening up. So opening up is an extremely complicated process. You already know how complicated optimizing this one campaign has been. Opening up is an even more complicated process, because opening up doesn't just concern this platform. It concerns this platform as well, and it concerns the website, which is powered by WordPress, which has just been updated to 5, so it's an entirely new platform. And I mean from the ground up, from scratch. It's like a totally new process. And it's only in the WordPress change is only in stage 1. It happened in mid to late December. They made a change. WordPress did to their platform. And I'm pretty sure they're about to make 2 more changes. 2 more major changes. So it's just like the movie. I mean, you can tell by the way I stutter. It's just like the movie Perfect Storm. But we're winning. We are winning. We're beating the game flawlessly. Like I said, this has come from 3,000 down to 150. But that's not one thing to recant. I also mentioned don't lose sight of the things that I mentioned, because they're we've gone from 1.7 conversion rate up to 5. We're edging up between 5 and 6%. So it's not just about it's kind of hard to explain, because it does all come together, but at the same time these are massive numbers that we're changing from different angles to increase the bottom line. So this one turned out to be more complicated than I had anticipated. Hopefully I'm not far over my time. Okay, I guess I am. So, sorry. So basically, but I'm done here. So basically what you can see is, okay, we've got one campaign and it's optimized from 3,000 down to 150, and at the same time it's also optimized from like 1.7 conversion rate up to getting between 5 and 6% before we even change the website. We're going to add 2 more campaigns. And it goes through the same processes. And then we're going to change the website, which might take the conversion rate from 5 to 6% up to friggin' 8% or higher. And then we're going to have a more consistent booking widget, which is going to, you know, we definitely have like between 3 and 6 errors reported a month. And so, you know, just that alone might mean that we end up with another 5 to 10 customers just from the booking widget portion of things. So that's kind of the difference between optimizing and opening up. And just understand this is a very, very complicated process, and that's why it takes so much time. I mean, it just involves so many different platforms, and all of the platforms are going through major transitions right now. But the bottom line is we are winning. And we're really winning. We're probably getting to places where we're just doing better than our competition. I mean, it shows here. Impression share, we've got 62.48%. You know, and that's just for one campaign. We're doing great. It just takes time. All right, that's it for this one. Sorry for going over the line. You know how it goes for me sometimes. I try and keep it short. At least it wasn't an hour long.